Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Progressive Overload Podcast. Have you ever thought about strengthening multiple areas of your life at the same time? Then you've come to the right place. Our goal is to help you identify ways that you might need a progressive overload to break through those plateaus and keep you growing.
Welcome to the Progressive Overload Podcast. I'm your best host, Tyson the Kyokan Kid Burwell. And this is probably second string Joseph.
I'll take second string to you, man.
I'm kidding.
It's like comparing me to Brad Pitt.
Oh, easy now.
It's beautiful, luscious beard that I'm jealous of.
Dang, see, that's the problem, though, is nobody gives me any flack back anymore. You know, like, I can't just be, you know what I mean?
It's true, though. Somebody needs to step in and just be anti-Tyson.
Nobody tries to
You're
humble
so
me.
lovable, man.
I guess so.
So lovable.
I try to be.
Yeah, well, welcome to the Progressive Overload Podcast, number one health and fitness podcast in my mom's house.
Yeah.
She is one of our greatest supporters, and love you, Mom. Just wanted to share
Thanks,
that.
Mama Copeland.
Yep, that's right. Hey, today we're going to talk about the supplement industry. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is teach you steps and ways to approach learning how to trust a fitness fitness supplement company, how to know when they're being shady, how to know when you can trust them and actually put their products in your body. There's so much crap out there, but there's also some good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you go through any GNC store just right off the bat and look at the wall of color and giant body muscular men that, you know, they make these promises that this will increase your anabolic levels to insane amounts.
And they pick me, I want to do it.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. But. So that's what we're going to get into today, but first, by the way, it's just me and Tyson today.
Yeah.
So, you're just blessed with our two brains of knowledge today.
Lovely
we
voices.
miss Adam and Dustin, but it's their fault they can't be here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, number one. If you could choose any two famous people to have dinner with, who would they be?
Oh, do they have to be alive?
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive. Let me think just for a second.
Actually, I kind of like just alive.
Oh,
I think.
That
whatever.
makes it harder.
Whatever.
My number one would be Bruce Lee.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
Probably first off.
Yeah.
More honestly, maybe the worst part is about that is I wouldn't want to actually ask him anything. It would just be to enlighten him
be in
with
his presence.
Well, to be with such a great figure that's inspired so many martial artists, but also to show him what martial arts looks like today.
Oh, okay.
I think it'd be mind blowing for him to realize
you think he would be proud, or you think he would be ashamed?
I think he'd be super proud.
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't be where we are without him. So
that YouTube stars are fighting other dudes.
It's all part of it. But my second one, I just read his book. And I'd love to have a conversation with Hickson Gracie.
Oh, okay,
which is another,
yeah.
And that's just the nerd fighter.
Of course.
So,
well, I think my answer should be Jesus. Of course. I
want to change my answer. No, I'm kidding.
Jesus. But if I'm gonna go the non-church route, Steve Carell, number one.
Yeah.
Steve Carell and Will Ferrell, because I am a comedy movie snob, and those two have always. I mean, there's nothing that they don't put out that is just not gold.
Right.
Yeah, and there's probably more people, but like a great ancestor of mine or something like that.
Right.
But,
there's so many routes to go with that too. Like if you just want to have interesting conversations, going back and talking to like Leonardo da Vinci.
Right.
That'd
be so crazy. Yeah. Or just rulers of the past world and stuff like that. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Man. That'd be so crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. So let's get into our discussion. First, I just want to talk about how untrustworthy the supplement industry is. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, no, let's start off with personal route. Do you take supplements? Let's talk about what you do.
I do. I've done quite a bit of research on supplements themselves, and then finding kind of what we're talking about today is finding companies that we actually trust. And, even if you do trust them, that's what it is. It's a faith-based thing where you're really hoping that label is telling you the truth of what's actually in it.
Right.
And so the supplements that I really enjoy and feel like I actually get benefits from is number one is creatine.
Of course.
I drink creatine every day. Just 5 grams. It goes in my coffee. It's just part of the ritual, just like adding my creamer.
Yeah.
So it's easy to get in.
What do you take creatine for?
creatine is one of the best supplements that's actually been proven 100% through multiple millions of studies to actually build muscle.
Right.
And it does it through a process of allowing your muscles to have ATP build up and all that good stuff.
Right.
So lots of really good benefits from creatine. But I have heard people that have had side effects. Our friend Dustin, he's,
Yeah, that was crazy.
he kind of had some adverse effects. So, none of it.
So his was related to gout. Yeah. Apparently, there's some small links between gout and gout flare-ups and taking creatine.
Right. And that was the first time I ever heard of that.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
And that might be anecdotal. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so that's definitely one. I also I do take a multivitamin.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing super fancy, just a basic multivitamin.
Right.
And just make sure I'm covering all my bases, especially when I'm training really hard. I take a vitamin D on top of that,
right.
just for immunity more than anything.
Right.
Let me go through my stack real quick. Every now and again, I do take a protein supplement. Yeah. So I'll do just a whey protein. Right. And I've actually started liking more of the pre-made stuff.
Oh, I know, dude. It's hard to fight with the Core Powers and the Premier Protein. They taste so delicious.
They're delicious, and then they're convenient too. Yeah. Our cafe at the hospital sells them now, so I'll find myself grabbing one of those every now and again.
Well, like the macros are not. I mean, they're almost sometimes they're better than like the powdered protein.
Yeah.
You go by, so.
Yeah. The only thing with whey protein you got to watch out for is sugar a lot of times.
Right, for sure.
But the Core Power, or what you have, the Fairlife, I think. Is
it's Fairlife Core Power.
Yeah. They're pretty good, and their macros, like you said, are pretty good.
They're not bad.
But that's kind of it, man. I like to try to get most of my macros and my micros from my actual food that I'm eating.
Yeah. That should always be our point, is to get all of our nutrients as much as we can through whole natural food and supplement as needed.
And then finally the last one is a pre-workout. That actually I just got through our little podcast. What is it? I guess promotion. Affiliate.
Yeah.
It's through Legion
Athletics. Yeah.
And it's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm pretty what's the word?
Sensitive.
That's the right word. I'm delicate.
I'm delicate.
I'm delicate. No, I'm kind of sensitive to caffeine, so I have to be careful with my pre-workouts. Right. But that seems to be pretty good. It doesn't necessarily make me super jittery, and it helps me get me my 5 in the morning lift going on without just falling asleep underneath the bench.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What about you?
Mine pretty much the same as you, except I'm not real good about taking my multivitamins. But yeah, protein shakes probably at least one a day.
That's why I'm better than you.
Oh yeah. And then of course creatine monohydrate, man. I think everyone should take that. And I even read a study about a professor from like Stanford or something like that was publishing tons and tons of information about children taking creatine.
Really?
Of course, I'm not a doctor. Talk to your doctor about it. But the studies seem to say that it's going to help them so much with not even muscle, not even. This study was talking towards brain development and cognition, and then those same benefits with elderly is huge too. So take your creatine, especially if you're vegan or vegetarian, and you're not getting any creatine from the animal meat, because that's the greatest source of natural creatine. And then pre-workouts, I'm taking the same Legion pre-workout that you do. I love it. I hate pre-workout that just is just solely focused on stimulants and getting you the itch. There's so many just crap supplement companies out there that it's got nothing in there but caffeine and beta alanine to make you itch.
B12.
And that's it. Yeah, that's all it is. And so
do you take a fish oil?
No, I don't. I have salmon at least once a week, and so I feel like that kind of covers my base there.
I don't know if it does or not.
I don't know if it does, but I feel like it does.
I don't like taking fish oil.
Yeah.
But I do it anyway.
You do?
I hate the burps, but I suffer through it.
Freeze them. Have you ever tried that?
I haven't tried freezing them, no.
So they say if you freeze them, that the burps, you get less burps.
I see. I don't know.
Try that out.
I might have to.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the amount of omega-3s and the benefits and the studies on that have been shown to really help out, with immunity and skin and a bunch of really good health benefits.
Well, yeah, for sure.
And brain development.
And antioxidants to get rid of those free radicals in your system.
Yeah. So I don't know. I forced myself to deal with it, and I go ahead and take a fish oil.
Right. So there was this big study of 203 random supplement companies put out by some board of health medicine, blah 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 blah, and they analyzed 203 different supplement products. So they just kind of grabbed like protein here or pre-workout here or fat burners here.
Yeah.
And let me see, 90 of the 203 actually had what the label said they had.
Less than half.
Less than half. So I think that should be pretty dang alarming here. If anything, that should give you the sense of, crap, I better do my research and know what I'm putting in my body, because there is a 45% chance that whatever the label says that you put in your body is not actually in there.
Yeah. Were you one of those newbie lifters like I was, where you went through this phase where it's like, I want to try all these supplements because it's going to help me get to the next level?
I know that's such a common thing. I never really got that crazy with it.
Really?
Did.
Yeah. I wasted.
You got everything, huh?
It just wasted my money, man. That's what it did.
Yeah.
But, I had to learn the hard way, unfortunately.
Of course.
But there's so many of those test boosters and this crazy.
The crazier the name, the less effective it's going to be.
More than likely, And then, of course, there's always the newest, latest, updated blend of creatine or whatever.
Exactly.
But yeah, you're right. And then you're just hoping that even the label's truthful to what they're putting on there. And like you just said, there's a 45% chance. You got a 45% chance to hit it. To get what you actually bought.
Exactly. And just because what it says on the label does not mean that the dose that you're going to get is going to be efficacious. So
correct.
The efficacious dose of creatine monohydrate we know is between 5 to 10 grams. But just because it says creatine monohydrate on the label does not mean you're getting the 5 to 10 grams. So you may be getting 1 gram or 2 grams. At that point, it's useless to take it.
Yeah.
Unless you're getting it from outside sources.
How often, man, going to the grocery store and you'll see on the front of the label, high in protein. And then you look and it's like 6 grams of protein.
Oh, I know.
For some, for 400 calories. And
right.
You're thinking, yeah.
Yeah, that's not high in protein. No, no, sir. What supplement companies do is they find a study that somebody did, or they have their own study done that just has a little bitty truth. Like, I don't know, probiotics help your gut. Like that, there's a little bit of truth there. But what they're going to do is they're going to put this cheapest strand of probiotic that they found over here that wasn't even in the study that they got the information from, but they got the cheapest strand, not the strand that's actually in the study.
Right.
And then so that just happens all the time. They find a little bit of truth and they go a long way with it and stretch it as much as possible.
Some of the problems that some of the UFC fighters are running into is tainted supplements.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of these supplements are made on a single vat, right? So you might have your BCAAs mixed in, and then they don't really clean the vats out that well, and they make creatine in the same vats.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And the next thing you know, there's little micro doses of supplements that legally they're not allowed to have.
Right.
And so they'll test positive for, performance-enhancing drugs.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
So even with, especially some of these cheaper supplement companies, you've really got to be careful with what you're buying.
Right. Have you heard of Redcon 1 or whatever?
No.
They're really, really popular. And I think they're the ones that had like the Total War or something like that. You might have seen that.
Yeah.
Their owner, or one of the co-owners, is going to jail is in jail for 4 years for selling testosterone or a controlled substance in their inside their thing. So everybody was flocking to it because it was so freaking effective. You got to go get this test booster or whatever
because it works.
And it turns out it's working because it has a controlled substance in it.
Because it's actually
so that's a real story. Go look up owner of Redcon 1 or whatever going to jail, and you'll read the story.
Yeah, and no matter what, wherever you stand on the whole steroid situation or whatever, man, you just want to be able to actually buy the product and the product be what it's saying on the label.
Yeah. And so let's go through some questions that we can ask ourselves or ask of the supplement company, or research these questions on, whenever we decide to go find somebody to use. And so the first one is, excuse me, I had to burp. Are they pixie dusting?
Yeah.
Do you know what the term pixie dusting refers to?
I'm going to assume it's just where they just put a small amount into the actual supplement.
Basically,
is that what it is?
Yeah. They've got filler of some sort. Whether, I don't know, who knows. They find some sort of supplement that's extremely cheap. And I gotta quit drinking this Fit Aid here because it keeps making me burp. Sorry about that. Yeah, they have filler, and then they just have a little bit of creatine here, and they'll sprinkle a little bit of this here, a little bit of this here, and they'll bottle it and call it that. And so, or what it could also mean is they just throw buckets of random stuff in there, stir it up. Here's what you got. We have no clue how much of what is in what.
Right.
It's our proprietary blend. And so that's the word, that's the biggest word you want to look for whenever you're looking at supplement companies is proprietary blend, because that's a major red flag.
Right. Well, I remember looking at different creatines and whatnot, and you would hear stuff about like super creatine.
Super creatine. What does that even mean?
What does that mean? And they can't tell you.
They can't tell you
because it's just a blend of different types of filler and creatine and whatnot. But yeah,
I get that.
At the end of the day, the tried and true creatine monohydrate.
Creatine monohydrate. Yep. If it doesn't have that, you don't. I mean, that's just.
Yeah.
You're probably paying for something that you don't need to be paying for.
Sure.
Yeah. So next one is, are they borrowing science? Which is basically kind of the same point I had a while ago. This is where they take some science that says L-theanine or whatever is can help you with recovery.
Yeah.
Okay, they're gonna create a whole freaking line of L-theanine, but it's just like not dosed correctly or something like that. They just take a little bit of science and then they create a whole world around that little bit of science. And so be careful with that. Third party lab tested. That's another one.
Big one.
Yeah. What do you know about that?
Well, I mean, just what it is really,
right.
It's taking a third party that actually tests the supplements that shouldn't be making any kind of money on it. It's a testing protocol to make sure that the supplement actually has what they're claiming has in it.
For sure. Exactly. Yeah. And what I love about Legion is if you go on their website, every single line or claim of something has a little link that you can click that takes you to the study. What's either the study behind that ingredient that tells you the efficacious dose and that tells you how much is in that actual supplement, and the study that tells you that supplement is actually in their body or in their bottles. So they have a link that will take you to every single possible claim, and that's why I love Legion.
Yeah.
Because that's a very rare thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, trying to think what else the third party lab test. Like a lot of times, the lab testing will be done in house, and my tinfoil hat just kind of goes off right there.
Yeah. Like, what's the point? Is that really third party at that point? Start to sound like first person.
Exactly. Sounds like the government doing their own testing.
Yeah. We investigated ourselves and found that we were innocent.
Exactly. Exactly. And then the testing can also, I mean, it can be, like I said, it can be done on the efficacious dose. It can be done on that dose is actually what's in the bottle. And then it can also just tell you that, where was I going with that? I lost it.
That's all right.
There was a third point there, and it was going to be really good.
Oh, man.
I don't know. Take Legion. All right.
Yeah. Use our code.
I really didn't mean for that to be today, because, I mean, we're not trying to make money off of anybody, obviously.
Well, not only that, I don't think we even make money off it.
No, we don't. I get like 20% off if you buy from our product.
Right. That being said, so other than Legion, I mean, what's some other reputable supplements?
Right. So the ones that I've always trusted are Legion and PE Science, because PE Science is very similar to Legion in that they publish all of their third party testing reviews. They talk about all of their their studies that are related to why that, and so I like that. The main reason I choose Legion is because their owner Mike Matthews is very, very vocal about the science backed information that he has, and I've heard him on a lot of podcasts too, and I've listened to him speak personally, which is actually one of the points is like, do your research on the owner of the company.
Sure.
Are they somebody that has your best interest in mind?
Are they lifters too?
Yeah, exactly. Or are they just chemists? Or
Yeah, do they use the products that they're selling?
Absolutely.
That's a big product, thing for me anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you got tons and tons of Instagram videos where you're like, "Yep, here's my protein for the day, and I'm drinking it down. And I'm going to go work out."
Right.
Well, he believes in his product. He uses it.
Yeah, he stands by it for sure. Another thing I like about Legion, which I guess this is going to turn into a Legion commercial. But they are 100% all natural. So a lot of supplement companies out there are going to cut as many corners as possible to get their price down by using synthetic ingredients. And so I love that Legion is all natural. There's no sugar, no artificial sweeteners, no stuff like that. And I like that.
For protein, I've actually used Optimum Nutrition for a long time.
Yeah.
And they've been reputable, and they've gotten so big to the point where they get tested so often that they just to appease the amount of people that use it, they have to be on point.
I think so too. Yeah, they have very, very good reputation.
Yeah, I mean they've been the gold standard for a long time now.
Right.
And to me, it's cheap enough, and it works.
Right.
And that's one thing that I think you can kind of use a smell test a little bit. If something's super cheap, though, you can kind of go like, all right, how come you guys can make creatine or protein or
no, seriously,
L-arginine or whatever supplement you're taking? How are you making it like on the cents on the dollar?
Right.
You're getting it from China or some other crazy irreputable spot.
If you're just getting the killer deal and it seems way too cheap, it's probably too good to be true. So like seriously think about that.
Right.
Because I personally would rather spend $8 more, $10 more to get something that I know that what I'm putting in my body is actually what I'm putting in my body.
It's clean and not going to hurt you either.
Yeah, because those third-party test reviews, they cost a lot of money, and so that's going to add a little bit to the price.
Sure.
They're not going to cut the corners in getting this cheap ingredient in China. They're going to get something that they know the farmers behind. They know personally this lab is owned by here, and so that's why I pay a lot of attention to where I buy it from.
Yeah. When I was in college, a good buddy of mine, he was a manager of it wasn't a GNC. It was a
Complete Nutrition or something like that.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember some kind of vitamin shop. Though. Yeah. And he would get the supplements that were about to go out of date.
Oh, nice.
Because they were just going to throw them away.
Yeah.
So, dude, I would get supplements all the time.
I don't think they go out of date really, do they?
Well, depends. For instance, like your whey proteins, they're dairy products.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
So they definitely
have a shelf life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get that.
But
it's funny. I was listening to a podcast, and an owner of a company was talking about how they rely on multivitamins as their cash cow.
Really?
Basically, because they can get most of those vitamins just for so unbelievably cheap.
Yeah. And
there's so little regulation on any of these supplements. And then they can just mark them up. The markup on multivitamins is like
outrageous.
Almost 200%.
Yeah. I believe that for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem with supplements altogether, though. Like you just said, there's no regulation on them.
No regulation.
Literally, they could fill it full of sand and tell you this is Mega Booster 3000,
right?
And you can mix it in your water and drink it. There's nobody telling that's illegal.
Yeah. Literally, the only regulation they have is they're not allowed to go over the dangerous limit, a dose or whatever. And other than that, like there's no rules.
Yeah. Which is sad, but that's also kind of the market we live in.
Right. And I think I'd rather have it that way than FDA get involved and just shut everything down and hike the price up on everything.
Yeah.
Another thing that I look at, me personally, maybe I don't know about this for everybody, but I know if the marketing is just so gimmicky and it's just their commercials are naked women and half naked bros that are just like, oh, look at me, I'll take this, and like that does not seem appeal to me.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to lean too hard on the sex sell and not the science sell.
It's so funny.
Keep an eye out for that too.
I agree 100%. But it's so funny whenever you see, like you just said, like some steroided out dude,
right?
Who's got his veiny arm and he's holding this pill bottle. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, this is how I got this way.
Yeah, I got this way because of these pills.
Yeah. And then,
I think they're different pills that you're taking or different shots you're taking.
Yeah, for sure. But it also reminds me of those infomercials back in the day for like the total body cardio fitness machine. And there's just this jacked dude on it, It's like, oh yeah, aerobic workouts. That's how you got.
Yeah, that's how you got that jacked. Yeah, the stair stepper 3000.
Right, the perfect push up.
Yes, yeah. That's so
the shake
funny.
weight, everything like that.
What's funny to me is the average person the average consumer that's not into health and fitness but might want it is so dumb. I feel like when you're marketed to that stuff, like how can you like so many people just fall to the dumbest efforts of marketing, and like it's just so clear to me like this is so fake and so scammy. But
you're mature now though. There was a time whenever you were a child and you'd see the Nerf gun. You know, the Super Soaker 3000. You're like, I gotta have it, Mom, please. You know,
right? And that's true.
I think some people just never grow out of that.
Yeah. So I'm sorry if I offended you by calling you dumb out there, but hopefully you're learning. But yeah. And then the last one, like I talked about a while ago, research who the company is, what their beliefs are. You know, I like to support companies that have, you know, efforts of I forgot the word that I'm looking for, but basically they help out other people. So they take their charitable. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. I like charitable companies like that can prove that with the money that some of the parts of the money that I got from you went to helping these people like that. You know, I love that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not put on by some Chinese sweatshop, you know, stuff like that.
Well, unfortunately, some of those charities are all fake too, though.
Well, that's true.
You got to do your research all the way.
Yeah, that's a whole nother ball game.
Talk about dark, you know.
Yeah.
To take advantage of people like that, that's a whole nother dark scheme.
I know. Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah.
Do you, you know, since on your fitness journey, have you ever come across a bunch of supplements, or not? Maybe a bunch is not the right word, but have you come across supplements that you know for a fact were a waste of money and you shouldn't have bought them?
Fat burners.
Yeah.
Yeah. For most people, they might have its use in some scenarios, but I think fat burners will always be a joke. For the person that's just wanting to be healthy, wanting to lose a little bit of fat. It's just full of supplements or full of stimulants,
thermogenics.
Yeah, thermogenics that are going to make you sweat, make you increase your heart rate, and that's what makes you sweat. But there's no physiological adaptation to your fat cells or anything else, unless it suppresses your appetite, and that's it. Yeah.
I knew a guy one time that he basically took his fat burners for a pre-workout.
I've seen people do that too.
Yeah, that's to each their own, I suppose.
Whatever. But that's the main one. I mean, I'm sure there's so many more out there, but.
Well, here's a hot take for you: BCAAs.
Oh, for sure, that's true. Yeah, especially if you're taking protein. If you're eating protein,
if you're getting your protein in, and I think that's at the end of the day. The word supplement, what does that mean?
It's supposed to supplement.
It's supplementing your diet.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you are covering the majority of your bases with a solid diet, you're getting your greens, you're getting your fruit, you're getting your protein, bro, you're getting your supplements through your food.
Yeah.
You know, so quit buying $40 worth of BCAAs.
Right.
You know.
Right.
I know it tastes good.
Right.
You know, but at the end of the day, it's really not you're not gonna see any benefits as far as your muscle gains.
No. And that's such a good point, because people put supplements on such a higher pedestal than it should be. They will, like, I would rather somebody who's beginning their journey out there go spend $100 on, you know, 2 or 3 personal training sessions. Yeah. Those 3 sessions that you get with somebody that can teach you about exercise, teach you proper form in those 3 sessions, is gonna be more value to you in the long run than a bottle of pre-workout and protein or something.
One of the best things that I was ever able to do for one of my fighters is take him to the grocery store.
Yeah,
and show good. Just let's go grocery shopping. Let's go look at what you actually need to be eating and what you need to be buying.
That's good.
You know, it's a game changer for especially for these young 20-year-old that he doesn't know what all that's about. You know, and we were all there.
Yeah.
But I think that was a good benefit for him.
Yeah, definitely BCAAs are. And like, once again, the caveat there is, if you're a vegan or vegetarian who has a hard time getting protein in, you're gonna be short in your creatine. You're gonna be short in your amino acids. So take those kind of supplements.
Well, they have their place. You know, like most supplements, I think they have their place.
Right.
For instance, recovery shakes for my fighters after they cut weight, and this could be applicable to bodybuilders that just cut weight. Anybody who's cut weight for an event and then I need to replenish. Yeah. BCAAs are something you should be adding to your.
I can get that, yeah.
Because you've been going without for the past 24 hours.
And what else do you put in those shakes?
All right, so we can talk about that. Here's another one that I don't recommend most people buy unless you're doing something like that. There's a supplement called Waxy Maize. Have you heard of that?
No.
Basically, all it is, it's a refined carbohydrate.
Oh, okay.
And you know, guys who are doing bulks and stuff, what they'll do, it's just a filler for calories, is what it is.
Nice.
But what it is, it's a highly digestible type of carbohydrate, and whenever you're depleted like that, you need something very quickly to get back into the bloodstream. So,
for sure.
So I add waxy maize, because they're also depleted in their gut biome. They need probiotics.
Okay,
which is another one that I actually don't recommend most people get if they don't need it.
Right.
You know, but because they actually don't have the gut biome to digest their food.
Yeah.
If I don't put their probiotics in the recovery shake and they go like, all right, I finally made weight, I'm gonna go eat Chili's.
Right.
They won't absorb.
Be destroyed.
Yeah, and they won't absorb much of it. They'll just go right
straight through them.
Yeah, because their body's like, I can't handle all that.
Right.
So you have to prepare the body and the gut to be able to actually absorb these foods. So waxy maize, probiotic. I typically put in new salt. You know what that is?
Oh.
It's also...
This is all new stuff to me.
Yeah. So it's a salt substitute is what it is.
Okay.
It's not iodized salt. It's got... basically, it's just a high dosage of phosphorus and some other harder minerals that the body's depleted from because all the sweat that they just lost, right?
That's crazy.
So pretty good. It's pretty good helping of that. And then I end up putting... actually end up putting BCAAs and some... a little bit of pre-workout, not a whole lot, not a whole scoop, but just most of the time just to get the stimulant to actually be able to perk back up after a hard weight cut.
Right. Man, but that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I've got a whole recipe, and that's just off the top of my head. I've got them all. I've got it all wrote down.
Well, that's cool. I'm sure that helps them a lot getting out of that.
They don't. It's funny because Calvin and Josh Alvarado, two of my fighters that just fought a couple months back, they're like, "What? I don't know what that was, but that was like cocaine or something." I felt amazing right after I got done drinking that. You know, and there's a science to even how you're supposed to drink it because they're so depleted and stuff. Not to make this all about weight cut and recovery, but
no, it's just interesting.
But because it'll rush right through them, and you need the body to slowly rehydrate. Right. You want the water, you want that shake as cold as you can get it.
Okay.
So the body has to actually warm it up for it to absorb. Yeah. So while it's sitting inside the stomach, only the outer layer starts to get warm fast enough to be absorbed. So the body slowly absorbs it back into the bloodstream.
Nice. So that's pretty smart.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's not my science. These are things that I've learned from other experienced weight cutters and fighters and whatnot.
That's pretty crazy. I wonder if that would be good after every 2 or 3 times a year I do like a 72 to 80 hour fast.
Yeah.
I wonder if it'd be good to do something like that before I have my first meal, because usually my first meal back after that, it just makes me so sick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I might do that.
That's the thing is you gotta.
I'm about to do one next week.
All right.
It's my last effort at getting this hitting this goal at 9%.
Where are we at right now?
I got like 8 pounds to go.
Okay.
But my thing is that I haven't prepared the water cut. Like,
you haven't been water loading?
I have not been very well. So
yeah, get on that.
I don't know if it's too late to do that or not. I got till next Friday.
Next Friday. Here we are. No, you got time. You start now.
Okay.
2 gallons today.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man.
Shoot for 3. Fail to get 3.
I ain't gonna get that, man. Golly.
Fail to get 3.
So when I think of supplements in a Christian faith, I think of when somebody goes to the bookstore and gets a self-help book.
I've been curious about some of these.
Yeah.
Okay, so not necessarily self-help books, but you do see these Christian bookstores.
Yeah.
And there's so many authors that are just kind of cliff notes of the Bible and different takes. And I guess I'm assuming it's kind of just like their understanding of a chapter or whatever.
Most of the time, it's just their commentary on what they believe and from their studies and what they think this means and stuff like that. And I think doing your research and learning different angles of different scriptures is so important, and learning and getting a full grasp of the Bible and what it means and what we should be telling it. I don't think, a lot of times people will be like, okay, what is this verse telling you? Well, most of the time I believe that this verse has a meaning, and then I'm not saying it only has one meaning, but I think there's a lot less variation in what the Bible is actually supposed to get across in that verse. And I wish I had come up with an example for that. But not saying the Holy Spirit can't work through the words and help you apply it to your life in different ways. But basically, I'm just going to keep this real short. My encouragement to people out there that when you're seeking out self-help books, or biblical commentary, or when you're searching different supplemental ways to boost your faith, do all of the steps that we just went through.
Yeah.
Get to know the author, get to know their heart behind what they're writing, get to know their background, get to know, I mean, you don't, you want to know who they are. You don't want to be taught something that might possibly be false doctrine.
Right.
Because a lot of times those ones are easier to understand than truth.
Yeah.
And so whenever you're searching out for more information about the Bible, I'm not saying to be skeptical, but put the work in and fully understand where you're getting this information from, and really protect your heart, and so that you're not getting led astray by a wolf in sheep's clothing, basically.
Sure.
And
well,
so,
we've talked about it before with some of these YouTubers that you put your filter on.
Right. Put your filter on. Absolutely.
Filter through, if your gut will tell you most of the time what's truth and what's not.
Right.
And if you have any doubts, most of the time, a lot of times, maybe not most of the time, but a lot of times, there's something to that.
Exactly. 100%. 100%. I love that. All right, cool. Well, y'all keep going to our pages and giving us those reviews. We love to have those reviews, and I even want to share them on our Instagram so other people can see them. Keep following us on Instagram, sharing and liking our post. Interact with us, please.
Yeah, you had some
interact
questions.
with us.
You had some questions you wanted to put out.
I want to do a whole episode on that. So I'm gonna compile all those questions that you ask us. And we're gonna do a whole episode or 2 or 3 if we get a bunch of them on questions that you want to know personally about health and fitness.
I'll have to put some more anonymous.
Yeah, I'll put the anonymous link up there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Interact with us. That's what, it's crazy to me because I see the numbers of how many people are listening to our podcast, and we have way more listeners than I ever dreamed of us having.
And thankful for them.
And so thankful for you. But it's crazy that we just don't get a whole lot of one-on-one interaction. My inboxes are open. I want to know you're listening. So if you hear this, just reach out and say, hey, I enjoyed the episode or something like that. I just want to see who's listening. Right. I just want to put faces, and it's really for my own personal gratification, maybe. I don't know.
Well, yeah, stroke the ego a little bit.
Yeah, I need to stroke the ego. No, I don't know what it is. You're clearly listening, and I encourage you to engage with us.
Well, I would love some feedback too. Good, bad, and the ugly.
Absolutely.
Just shoot it our way.
And I've mentioned this to you before, and you've been like, I've listened to podcasts for years and not once even went to their Instagram page. I'm like, yeah, I guess that's possible too. But anyways, we'll end this episode now. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day.
Hey.
Go hit the gym.
Much love.
Much love.
Thanks for listening to the Progressive Overload Podcast. We're honored to be a small part of your day. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or are interested in sponsoring our efforts, please feel free to reach out via email. Find us at progressiveoverloadpod@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe and follow our podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.
And as always, you can help us reach the masses by sharing our podcast with your friends and family. And then check us out on Facebook and Instagram to follow our own personal journeys and get an inside look on our day-to-day lives. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon.